大家好，我是明之声。在去年12月 TGA 上，一款名叫 Bradley the Badger， 当时还没有中文名字的充满神秘设定与玩法的动作冒险类游戏首爆了，吸引了不少玩家们的关注。但是一方面当时并没有官方的中文名，同时呢，以拟人动物作为吉祥物的这类游戏在国内的受欢迎程度也并不如国外高，因此本作在中文圈内几乎是没有什么声响。我们首先也来看一遍预告片吧。
I love the new game. Okay, sunshine, check. Map, check. Time for a new platforming adventure. What? My village was gone. All I wanted was to go back home. Badger born. Tried exploring. Did some jumping around. You know, the classics. It's what I do. Quick decision. Everywhere I went looked strange and weirdly unfinished. And that's when I found it. And everything changed. Literally. Oh yeah! Make your own platform game, baby! Now we're talking! I had a new grasp on things. I learned tricks that blew my mind. I really transformed myself. This thing is amazing! Made a bunch of new friends. Picked up new wheels. Figured out how to think big and small. I had it all. And then the code broke down. Are they? And that's when I found you.
顺带一提，为主角布拉德利配音的是曾主演美国恐怖故事、参演漫威快银、扮演杰弗瑞·达莫等角色的 Evan Peters。据制作组介绍，他们是由创新艺人经纪公司介绍联系而上，因为 Evan Peters 是一位资深玩家，双方也是一拍即合。他们甚至表示艾文平易近人，并且对游戏也做出了许多创意上的自己的观点与见解，所以他们将 Evan Peters 视为是创作上的伙伴。这也将会是他在电子游戏领域的第一次登场。这款游戏是由独立游戏工作室 Day for Night Studios 的两位创始人 Christian Cantamessa 和 Davide Soliani 两人共同担当总监。这两位的来头可是不小。对国内的观众来说， Davide Soliani 在2017年的 E3 上曾经上演了一出猛男落泪的戏码。担任马里欧与疯兔创意总监的他，在宫本茂上台提到他的名字时，激动的热泪盈眶。
でただダビデさんに会った時にね、ダビデさんに一つだけお願いしたんです。
So when I met Davide-san, who is the creative director of this game, yes. When I met Davide-san, I had just one condition for this project.
絶対こうジャンプするゲームとかそういうプラットフォームゲームじゃなくて、マリオで今まで作ったことのないジャンルのゲームを作ってほしいとお願いしました。
I said, whatever you do, don't try to make a jump game or a Mario platformer. Try to make a Mario game that has never been made before.
よかったですね。
And it's great.
至于另一位创始人 Christian Cantamessa， 这位就更是重量级。他曾担任过众多游戏的设计与编剧，其中包括了2星的 Manhunt 侠盗猎魔系列，同时是荒野大镖客1代的主设计师和编剧。此后呢，他也参与了众多的咨询编剧工作，包括了中土魔多之影与中土战争之影的许多剧情相关。出于机缘巧合，我有幸与这两位制作人进行了一次采访，谈一谈他们的这款新游戏。首先还是让我们来听听这两位业界老兵的自我介绍吧。You guys have been in the video game industry for like 2 or 3 decades, And shall you guys give a short introduction to yourselves?
Yes, gladly. So I'm Christian, and yes, I started in the games industry in the mid 90s, and after a little bit of work with just very small Italian companies, I ended up working with Davide here at Ubisoft Milan. That was my real big job in the industry. And we worked together for a few years on separate projects, but we became friends. And then I'll let Davide talk about himself in his introduction, but I left Ubisoft to go and work for a company.
I think you went to Rockstar and then found your own consultation company.
Exactly. I went to work for Rockstar, and there I worked on a few Grand Theft Auto games, and I worked on Manhunt. I was the lead writer and lead designer of Manhunt. And then I moved from the UK, Scotland, to San Diego in California to work on Red Dead Redemption. I was the lead designer and the writer with Dan Hauser and Mike Unsworth of Red Dead Redemption. And after Red Dead finished, I started my own little consulting company, and I did a good 10 years worth of work there, just writing and directing cinematics. I wrote and directed a movie, and I wrote a comic book as well. And then finally, after all this work, I reconnected with my friend Davide here a couple of years ago, and we were just talking about how we missed the old days working together with smaller teams, and all the fun stuff that we were doing. There was a little more experimental and maybe also a little more naive because we didn't really know what we were doing. And we decided to just quit our jobs and start a company together. Literally, we didn't have much of a business plan, just a desire to work together.
And I'm Davide Soliani. Christian already said that we met in Ubisoft in the 90s. I worked at Ubisoft Milan for like 5 to 6 years, working on pretty much a bit of everything. We did many platforms, like we did Rayman, but we did also others. We started working on Game Boy Color, which was absolutely fun in my opinion, because it was giving us a lot of limitation were forcing us to be creative. After 5 to 6 years, I decided to leave the company to try new experiences, and I went in London to work with Kuju, that back in the days was doing a game for Nintendo. And the game we were doing was a spin-off of a tactical game called Advance Wars. And we did a GameCube version that was called Battalions Wars. So after 2 years and a half in London, I moved again in Canada, this time to work on Ubisoft Montreal. And again, we did a bit of everything. And then at some point, after 3 years, the original managing director of Ubisoft Milan called me back to say, the office is become very small. We need a bit of expertise. Can you help me rebuild the entire office? So I went back in Italy, and we worked like crazy till we managed to grow enough to we did many games, various games, until one day we tried to propose something to Nintendo. That was 2017,
I think. The game is finished and announced in 17. Yeah,
exactly. when we proposed it back in the days, it was 2013, and we worked like crazy on Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, that, as you said, has been released in 2017. So it was super successful. The team went from 15 people, 15, to 150, so 150. So I will say that the whole adventure with Nintendo that lasted for almost 12 years, because we did Kingdom Battle, we did Donkey Kong Adventure, Sparks of Hope, and many DLC, was very joyful to do, and helped us to rebuild the whole office in Milan. So we were truly happy. But then at some point, I felt that I needed a new adventure. And when I met with Christian, we said, okay, the teams in those days, in those games, are becoming very big. We prefer the kind of team which is remain the size of a family, let's say 25, 30 people. So we decided to embark on a new crazy adventure, and the crazy adventure is Bradley the Badger.
Yeah, and I think when you found the studio, the logo of the studio is already a badger. Of course, he looks more serious than the current Bradley. So does that mean that you've already decided to make the game when you found the studio?
Yes, pretty much. When we were talking, we always start from a creative place, not from a business place. So we didn't talk about starting a business. We started talking about ideas. And one idea that we started talking about was the very, very early seeds of Bradley the Badger. The story of it and the ideas in the gameplay behind it. And as we got excited, we started kind of putting together a documentation, a design, an early design, some demos, in order to get some investment and start the studio. So Bradley really was there from the beginning as sort of the way for us to get some interest in the company. And luckily for us, a couple of people believed in us. Crafton believed in us, and One Up Ventures believed in us, and because of that, we were able to start the company. But Bradley was with us from the beginning, and so we chose to put an early design of the character as our logo, because he will be with us. Even if we make other games in the future, he will always be the character that got us going.
So, it's a little bit like Studio Ghibli. They have Totoro, but they do many kind of
so how did the concept of Bradley Badger first came about?
Like we always do, we shared some initial ideas at the very beginning, and then we started to let's say brainstorm about everything, because Christian is a bit of a vulcan of ideas,
and so are you.
So we basically decided to I would say that Christian is super involved with the story and the whole idea of the concept. I'm super involved with the mechanics, and we combine those two creative forces and merge them together to build what is Bradley the Badger.
So now you two guys are the co-creative director of the team, and you've got a 20-30 people team, and some of them have past experiences with you or work for you in the past.
Oh, it's more than some past experiences. Basically, the whole core team of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle decided to follow us on this new adventure. So we are working with some of them since 15 to 25 years. So they have been through a lot.
Yes. And it's also just a testament to how much they love working with Davide and respect him as a leader, because when we started our company, it was just me, him, and 3 other co-founders that were from Ubisoft, but they were also just friends of ours, and they were interested in starting a company. But we didn't have a team behind us, and really just people saw that we were starting something, and they saw that Davide was involved, and they started calling and sending emails, and so it was just really incredible to see how many people were just willing, to just join us without anything really, just an idea.
Well, I believe that what we say to each other is, if we are doing something so crazy like starting a company now, because this is the worst period ever, start a company, we need to do it with friends and people that have already been through a lot, and they have that seasoned experience to do it, because otherwise it would be even more harder.
Yeah, and I think Bradley is a very nostalgic character for Western gamers, because he's invoking the characters from maybe 2000, like Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's also interesting because this period of time, I would say, is kind of missing in Chinese gamers, because during that time we had a console gaming ban. So those mascot games are relatively less popular in China. So how do you balance this kind of nostalgia appeal along with the appeal to gamers that don't have this kind of nostalgia?
I will say that we are not young anymore. And when we were younger, we were playing with those games that you were citating, that truly made our us as player.
Yeah.
We loved them. It was a period of time in the video game industry where everything was looking magical and possible, and where the teams was not too big, so they were like considering themselves families. So we loved those kind of gameplay that were simple but deep and satisfying at the same time. But for Bradley the Badger, we said we want to respect the nostalgia and the love that game were bringing back in the days, but we need to do it in a completely new, a contemporary way.
And we're also trying to have our cake and eat it a little bit, because the game is in part very nostalgic, because like you said, it's it reminds us of Banjo, Conker, and Mario when he was existing in 3D for the first time with Super Mario 64, also Rayman, which was a game that we were exposed to because we were working at Ubisoft. So there is that nostalgia towards those characters and the games they were in, but also our game is a love letter to games today. Yeah. And that's why all the games that you see, all the worlds that you see, at least in the trailer, are all modern games. They're all from today. Yeah. Because we want to speak to everyone. And so there will be someone like us that will connect to Bradley as sort of like a 90s mascot. And then there will be somebody that connects to some of the genres that were satirizing, creating parodies of, and hopefully there'll be somebody that'll connect to both, right? But for us, really, it is a love letter to games.
Yeah, and right away we can see Bradley is aware that he's a hero of the platformer game. He's experiencing some kind of world-changing event, and it's kind of fourth wall breaking, also with the live action part. So do you feel like it's a challenge to design such a character and make the player care about character and the stakes of the story, because they may think that, oh, everything is just a parody, like it's not very serious.
I think that I will let you continue.
Go.
But I believe that we want to tell a story that is meaningful and serious without being boring. And the way to do it is always approaching it with a comedic and fun tone. And I believe that's a way to reach as many people as possible that, as us, are loving video games.
When it comes to the story, really, we're massively inspired by companies like Pixar, companies like DreamWorks Animation, companies like Studio Ghibli. They make movies that are truly for everyone. A kid can watch the movie, say, a Pixar movie, or Spirited Away, Totoro, any Studio Ghibli movie. They can just watch it for the funny characters and the situations they're in. But then the adults with the kids, or even the adults alone, will find something in these movies, a layer that immediately speaks to them. There is more to the story than what meets the eye. And even movies that have come out recently, for example, the Lego movie, clearly that's very inspiring for us, especially, I don't want to spoil it for the people that haven't seen it, but the end is a little bit like our game, is a little bit meta, when the movie is not just about Lego characters, it's actually about a father and a son connecting. So that's our inspiration. We want to be able to tell a story that people will be able to pick up and play and have fun with the character and the gameplay that Davide was talking about. But then if you are interested in dig deeper, or if you're an adult and are responding with all the knowledge that you have as an adult, then you will find something there that is very meaningful. And it's something that that we wrote because it also is really meaningful to us as people that love games and people that make games.
Yeah, but when it comes to mechanics and fun part, the most important ability of the character is called the kit, and it's kind of a parody of game development, and many people commented that it's like the Unreal Engine. So how do you make a highly professional tool like this as a basic mechanics and make younger players or rookie players to use it with ease?
We focused on the fantasy of what being a developer is. Being able to change the reality of a game, being able to build things out of nothing, which is possible only in a video game context, in an editor. But we removed all the complexity. So for the players, especially for the younger players, it will be like using magical powers. But those powers will relate to the world of the game development. And as Christian was saying, very young people will understand part of what those powers are, but like the layers of an onion, more adult people will peel them off and go to the core of the essence and understand the true extent of the story and what they are doing. And apart from that, we are making them as fun as possible. So they will be very easy to use, but especially very satisfying to combine with each other. Because that's one of the points that we focus on. It's not a game where the game is telling you, use this specific power in this moment. We are giving those tools in the hand of the player, and we let them go crazy and invent sometimes their own solution to problems.
Oh, I just wanted to add that hopefully it will be for players sort of like something as magical as it was when we started making games and we saw the tools to make games. And we didn't know how to make games, but it certainly felt like something magical to be able to go and create a level of a platform game. We both started making platform games for the Game Boy Color. And I didn't know how to make a platform games, but they gave us these tools that allowed us to create worlds out of nothing, and give the characters these powers. And so we wanted to capture a little bit of that magic, but like Davide said, the feeling of it, the use of it is incredibly simple.
Yeah, so do you think it will be kind of educational and maybe even inspire some players to try game development on their own?
We do hope so. We do hope so to inspire people. A lot of people are telling us also in the past that our game in a way inspired them. So if we can manage to create a spark in someone that will make this their path of life, it will be I will be incredibly proud.
You mentioned that the kit will be like the game will not handhold you, and the puzzles will not be like very set pieces, and it will be more sandbox. Wouldn't that make the game like super huge and very difficult to design, because you have to keep in mind that you can use all kinds of different abilities in one world?
We are not giving all the powers in just one word, but the more you progress through the game, the more you gain your powers. So you get the chance to learn through the adventure, and some of the powers, in addition, will be specific to the world you are in. Plus, from the point of view of the level design, we always build the puzzle challenges in a way that suggests possible solution, but the game is not forcing to use those solution to solve the problem. The player can come up with even better solution. We did 2 playtests in the past already, and we were absolutely amazed on how the player were doing even things that both of us were not, oh my God, that's very good. That's very good. So they also inspired us.
And, this might be a crazy comparison, but I'm going to make it because I was there at the time. But the approach we're taking is a little bit like what happened many, many years ago working on GTA 3. I was very, very lucky to join Rockstar in the last 6 or 7 months of Grand Theft Auto 3, and I was able to play it before it was out into the market, and I was able to do little jobs here and there. I did some voiceover as well in the game, weirdly. I'm one of the voice actors of GTA 3. But beyond that, it was before GTA 3 was released, people didn't really understand, even in the team, all the things that were possible. You could break the game, you could break the missions. And some people were worried that you were playing the game wrong, that you were breaking the missions, that they were so carefully built. But half of the company was completely convinced that that would be revolutionary, that you needed to be able to break the missions. And of course, when GTA 3 was released, it was a watershed moment in that particular type of games in the industry. We're trying to do the same thing. GTA 3 was very small as a game. So we're trying to do the same thing, very small, but applied to platforming action adventures as opposed to driving action adventures.
Yeah, so there will be lots of emergent gameplay experiences in this.
That's our hope.
You're talking about having parodies of popular games and genres, and in the trailer we've seen Bloodborne and Cyberpunk and The Last of Us, and finally the live-action FMV games, like the Badgerbone, the Bloodborne parody. How complex will the combat section be? Or is it just mostly a few places and then you still use the kit to do most puzzles?
You want me to start the answer?
Start.
Okay. I believe that what we want to achieve from any world that we are building, and there are also worlds that you are not yet aware of because we leave them as a surprise for afterwards, are inspired by genre. So Badgerbone is a kind of the words of the Souls-like game, as Last Badger is a word inspired by the survival genre, survival horror genre, and Cyberpunk is such a huge thematic that you can...
The gritty sci-fi.
Exactly. So what we want to achieve in those worlds is having the right atmosphere, the right soundtrack, and some gameplays mechanics that relate to those situations. We are not trying to recreate the same exact kind of mechanics because otherwise players will be unsatisfied because let's say players that loves Souls-like will be happy only in Badgerborn and then won't be happy in Cyber Badger and so on. No, we have our own identity, and these our video game identity goes through the ability of Bradley the Badger, and the tool is able to operate, which is the function inspired by the game development. Those are the two main things that are defining Bradley the Badger in terms of mechanics. Then there is, of course, the live action stories that glues everything together and that will reveal why there are different genres and why Bradley the Badger is moving between those genres.
Yeah,
but fundamentally, we, like I said, for us, it's just this big what if, right? What if a mascot from the 90s, the late 90s, found himself into these modern, strange video game worlds? We're telling the story from his point of view, so it makes sense that he's still a platform adventure character, kind of navigating these worlds the way he knows how, right? And so we want to tell the story from Bradley's point of view. He is this fish out of water, and you have to think that all he wants is to go back home, right? All he wants is to go back to his village, and he will have to do a lot of things in order to go back home.
I do have my guesses about the whole story or plot of the game. Like the live action part gives us a overview of some developer who is probably bothered by the company's decision to try different genres and to try make a popular product with an old character. So is that kind of the main plot of the story, or is it mostly just a meta story outside of Bradley's point of view?
We're not going to say anything about the story because it would spoil it for the players, but I can say that it's all from Bradley's point of view. It's his adventure, so it will be his story. But we showed a little bit of live action in the trailer because sometimes Bradley will be exposed to aspects of the story that he has never experienced before, and so there will be different ways for him to go back home, and maybe the live action.
But we can say that your hypothesis is very interesting.
Yeah, we're interested. We're very fascinated by your ideas. You should tell us more.
Yeah, I think I talked to Mike about this. Like the live action part gave me the idea that maybe there's a developer in a company, and the company is trying to force them to make Bradley a character in different genres of games. And there's possibly things like, oh, we're trying to make this game, but it doesn't work. And so there were all kinds of like development hell, or maybe compliments to the upper echelon of the company, things like that. But I have no idea if that's the way you're going to do it, and maybe it will just be a small part in Bradley's story, instead of the whole thing is like a complaint to the current gaming industry.
When you will play it, you will tell us if you were far or close to the idea.
But there is something that you said that I think we can say, which is we don't want to complain about the games industry. We love the game industry, and we keep saying that this is a love letter to games. So some other games in the past have been, especially games that have referenced, maybe movies or other games. They maybe have been a little mean, and we want to have fun with the premise, but we don't want to we don't want to create a character that's like
bitter,
mean and negative. Yeah, Bradley is very wide-eyed, and he's closer to Tom Hanks in Big. So he's just surprised and a little bit out of his depth.
You mentioned that there will be more worlds in the full game, and of course I can't force you to spoil them, but can I ask, because the few games we've seen, the few worlds we've seen, they are all very modern. Will any worlds be limited to like 3D games, like there won't be any 2D platformer parts? Or maybe a whole world will be about it?
What do you want to do?
Spoiler alert.
I mean, we're laughing. We can't. I think it's premature to answer this question, but you can see us laughing. There'll be all sort of things in the game.
There will be surprises.
Yeah, and actually, I was quite surprised considering David's history that there isn't a Nintendo game parody in the trailer. So, are there anything like that or akin to that you can also just smile and laugh about it if you can't give me an answer?
I will smile and laugh at
that. I mean, Davide has a special relationship with Nintendo, so again, we would never sort of do anything that would upset Nintendo, but obviously we approach everything by genre, right? And so there might or might not be something related to the platform genre somewhere.
Maybe.
Are there anything else that you can reveal, like some generic answers, maybe 2D games or casual games? For example, very influential games like Angry Birds, Plants vs. Zombies, and maybe even typing games or puzzle games.
That would be. I don't think we're doing typing games. That's a new one.
There are some nice typing games, like there was one made by Sega, which is House of the Dead, where you were typing. But the beauty of the game we are building is that is open to any sort of sequel. So what we are not doing now, we may do it in the future. Who knows?
And also, extra content, DLC, downloadable content in success. If the fans are there, we're a very small company. So if the fans are there to support us and support the game, then we're gonna add all sorts of content further down the line. And certainly, we want to engage the community and hear what they say and hear ideas like this, and kind of be able to integrate our community into the future of Bradley. So there's a lot of potential even beyond the game that we're building,
Yeah.
because it's not going to be a massive game, like we're a small team.
We are a small team. We are an indie team.
Actually, Mike talked to me about how to make the game more appealing to Chinese gamers and Chinese audience. And he asked if, like, can you, in the future, add parodies of Chinese games? And I think the answer I gave him is that Chinese gamers actually aren't that picky about where a game comes from. We just love good games. And some of the casual games I mentioned, like typing games and mobile games and Plants vs. Zombies, these kind of smaller games, we would love to see parodies of them because they are the kind of games that most people would play in their childhood and have most connections to. And in recent years, I would say indie games like Stardew Valley and, of course, Celeste and Metrovanias like Hollow Knight. These kind of games are the most loved by the Chinese players. And of course, now more and more Chinese games are going to be having a presence in the world and in the West. So maybe one day we'll see some parodies of Chinese games or Chinese adjacent games in Bradley.
For sure.
We would love to.
We would love to. And we also want to listen. In this case, we're listening to you and we're listening to our fans in China, which, for us is incredible to have fans of the game in China because, again, it's such a small game that we're making and all on our own. So it's great that there is already a Wikipedia page in China, and we're going to listen to the community and see whatever we can do. Like, I love that you're saying, some of these games, and we can
any Chinese player that want to send us suggestion or wishes for the future, they can write to us or on the Steam page of Bradley the Badger. Yeah. We absolutely would love to. They can even write in Chinese and then we will translate.
We actually talk about and discuss the temporary placeholder Chinese title for the game. And currently it's using the same title on the Chinese Wikipedia page. And that does lead to the question that we will have a future like Chinese partner or just having localization and marketing plans in China and working together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we really hope to.
We need to because it's I think it's the only way to do things properly.
Yeah. And we already have been contacted by a couple of Chinese publishers and distributors. I'm not going to make any names right now, but we're absolutely into that. And the game, we're currently translating all our page in Chinese, not just the title. And the game will have to be translated in Chinese. We'll have to we'll need the help of the community, of course, and a publisher locally, but we want the public in China to enjoy the game the best we can do for our fans in China.
Okay, looking forward to more news and more Chinese related news from Bradley Badger. And personally, I just want to ask, will there be more playtests in the future? And maybe there are ways to apply or try the game in the future?
Definitely there will be more playtester, and at some point we can even think about an open playtest. So
like a very secret but open playtest. But basically, for you, of course, you should expect an email from us whenever there is an opportunity to do that. And a bigger version of that, we're talking to companies that actually organize these sort of things with a registration process. So what we like is that this partner that we're talking with, for example, allows people to sign in. And so it's open to the community. And then these people get put under non-disclosure agreement, and they have to kind of respect a certain level of, confidentiality about the game. But it's not somebody, being selected and being brought into a room and being filmed. It's actually a little more community driven. And so we really like that, because that way we can say, let's open a sign up mailing list for people in, Northern Europe. Let's open a sign up mailing list for people in North America. Let's open one in China. And then we can bring people in and make sure that everybody knows that they shouldn't be, filming themselves playing the game and posting it on Twitter or X, whatever it's called these days. But at the same time, we can invite real people in the fan community to kind of play the game and give us feedback.
All right, I think that concludes all the questions we've prepared. Do you have anything else to say or share about the game?
Yes, one super quick stuff, as you are allowing me to do it. When I was working on Sparks of Hope for the Nintendo Switch with Ubisoft and Nintendo, the game was done in 5 different places in the world. And part of my team was from Shanghai and Chengdu. And I totally loved those guys from Chengdu and Shanghai, and I completely missed them. So I do hope they will try the game, and it will be a way for connecting once again. And that's it. It's my hello to those guys that I couldn't see since then.
And also, we're very thankful to you for this opportunity to talk, for all the advice that you've given us. If you hadn't connected with us, we wouldn't have been looking into the game title in Chinese, and we wouldn't have discovered the Wikipedia page and all these people talking about it. So it was actually like, I don't know, just I worked on big games and small games, but I feel particularly proud of finding a Wikipedia page about Bradley the Badger. I don't know why. It's so close to us. It's like a baby, and now all of a sudden pictures of your baby are all over the world. So we're very thankful for
the Chinese title reminds me of Journey to the West, because it's like Badger heavenly trial.
Busts the heavenly levels or the heavenly gates. It's awesome.
I think the biggest impression I got from this interview is that both of you guys are so passionate about this project, and that speaks really well about the future of the game. And of course, in the future, if you guys have a chance to maybe attend events in China, then you can go to Shanghai or Chengdu or other places and maybe see some old friends or try some local foods and things. And we'll be looking forward to the game.
I would love to.
And let's stay in touch.
You should say to Mike that he should support.
Mike should send us do a Chinese exploration trip.
Actually, I was trying to search about you guys for preparation, and I saw David's YouTube channel, and you have a few like road trip videos and also some guitar videos.
Yes.
Yeah, David is big into photography. If you look on his website, there's some incredible photographs. He plays the bass guitar like a professional.
No, not professional. No. Amateur.
Anyway, good talk with you all. Looking forward to the game.
It was a real pleasure.
See you guys.
Talking with you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.